What's going on, traders? Welcome back to the one, the only Start Swing Trade, of course, where we talk about some swing trading action. Take a look into the market, and of course, get it into the sector rotation. Where's the market going today? Let's take a look underneath the hood. And it's been a tough one. There you guys see it. A little bit of pullback from the earnings stocks, of course. Netflix, Tesla coming in last night and really shaking things up. As you guys can see, Netflix continued to fall. It was climbing a little bit in the pre-market, went right back down to that 435 area. So definitely taking a major beating today is Netflix. We will see what happens where it can catch some support, but big turnaround here in Netflix, of course, turning the market around. And if you take a look, also, of course, Tesla with a big turnaround. And when two major stocks like that are high in the Qs get hit, of course, the Qs are going to take a pullback. And I even got questions yesterday. Well, what pullback on the Qs? Well, there you guys see it. It came in. We did get a little bit of a pullback here. And I think that one thing that we need to keep an eye out for is where do we catch the bounce, right? Are we coming back here on the Qs? Are we going back to the 372 spot, right? Or are we going to try to fill some of this gap? That could be something that could happen also, where we get back into the 375, 373 range and then reclaim back up. If you can see, every time we've been going away from the 9 EMA, we eventually come back to it, which is this light blue line, and sometimes even cracking below it for a day or two, but always kind of recovering that. I'm going to look for similar action, a day or two, maybe cracking the 9 EMA, but after that, recovering back up towards that 380. We'll see what happens here in the Qs. Let's go to the SPY, of course. SPY also pulling back, and I see the 9 EMA making sense here. Maybe 449s on the pullback. We're right now at 452, so maybe we get another day of pullback towards 450. Of course, we got to keep an eye out on the earning stocks. That's what could shake things up a little bit more. Of course, tonight you will get Capital One, CSX, nothing really big right now until next week. Friday, we'll get a little bit, and before the open, we'll get American Express, SLB, you get Huntington Regions, financials, you get Auto Nation, but nothing major. Next week is when we really get into earnings with the bigger stocks, right? When we start getting different stocks like Microsoft, right? Google, those types of names of report, that's going to be something definitely to keep an eye out for. We'll see what happens with these stocks, of course. Let's go to the stocks and take a look at what got hit the most today. Of course, it's technology. And what is it? It's our leaders, of course. NVIDIA taking a big pullback and down there to the 454s. I was actually looking at it a little bit earlier when it started to crack here at 463s. Was thinking about even taking a short on it, but I have some other things that I needed to work on. So didn't take that NVIDIA short, but it would have been a nice one. Went down there towards that 455. Doesn't mean we can't recover, right? But a lot of these stocks starting to take a beating. Meta, they got the lift off the Threads news. And I know that a lot of people were kind of, looking at Threads as an opportunity. And I was too. That did give it the lift above 300. But just as quickly as it gave it the lift, it started to take a hit with the active members numbers. And I think this is also just taking a little bit of a pullback. Does it mean that Meta's broken? No, by any means. But I mean, it's been a massive run above 300. We could get some pullback. Maybe 280s makes sense. 275 on pullbacks from Meta, something to keep an eye out for. And then Apple, of course, makes a mention of AI, starts to try to go stronger, but now looks like there's a lot of kind of topping action up here towards the 196 area. So I'd keep an eye out for Apple. I think it could start pulling back in the channel. I've talked about how it's been kind of stuck in this channel for a while. So we could get a little pullback here, right? We could get a little bit back there towards the 190s and then just start working our way, grinding towards that 200. We'll see if Apple eventually is able to get to that 200. Of course, a release of an AI product like ChatGPT from Apple, yeah, I could see that giving it the lift above 200. We'll see what happens there. You guys out there, smash the like. You guys are right here, of course, on Benzinga. Hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't done so already, just look down below. You see that share button? Let everybody know. We got Start Swing Trade on. It's a great show that go ahead and gives you top news, takes a look at some trade ideas, and of course, sector and industry rotation. Let's go to that action, of course. And you can see Apple pulling back there, Microsoft pulling back, and just as quickly as they ripped to the upside, they came back down, right? So you guys can see also Google even pulling back and back down to the 119. So it looks to me like we're finally starting to get some tech profit taking. And that's what I could see today. A lot of people starting to get a little bit concerned as these stocks start to leak. They start to go ahead and sell some of them. We'll see what happens with some other technology names now that we start to take a hit, because solar was even starting to come back, like stocks like First Solar pulling back now. It was just recently up there to 210s. Now, is this a dip to buy? I think so, right? And I think that you got to be calling dips to buy here just slowly, right? Taking your shots, but taking them slowly. Of course, I got some swing trades on, and I'm taking some shots. I got no problem taking shots here. The only thing is we have to be what? We have to be smart with our shots, know where we're going to call our levels, and know where our out is. If I take First Solar here at 198, I have to be risking about like $3 off the 195 for a move back up above 210. We'll see what happens here on First Solar. It doesn't look bad here towards the close, so I don't mind First Solar, or maybe like a Max N swing trade, right? This one stopped me out just recently, but if it could get back above 28s, I definitely want to keep an eye on it, and that's Max N. We'll see what happens in some of the solar names. All right, let's keep going. ENPH is another one. We'll see if it catches the dip after recent kind of getting that lift. In consumer cyclical, those names definitely taking a little bit of a hit there. Amazon, pull back right back towards the 130. Will this start turning around some of the other names? Today, of course, I've been swinging Hilton, and this is in this space. So let's take a look there. You can see we're taking a look at consumer cyclical, which was also down big, and lodging starting to slow down a little bit, but doesn't mean that it's kind of turning around by any means. Marriott continuing higher. So I'm just going to keep trying to ride this Hilton trade up higher. I have this from 149.14s and looking for this to go higher, but just got a little spike earlier towards 150. Would really like to see that close towards 150 and start getting towards 155. We'll see what happens there in Hilton. All right, catching up with the chat for just a second here. It's good to see you guys out there. Easy, Jay, Keith. Remember what Ryan Dietrich said, and likes value over growth in the second half of the year. And yes, that could be something that you could look for. I think that at the end of the day, you're going to get some sideways action also. You've had these huge moves. How much more are you going to get on these tech names, at least for this year? Maybe you get some sideways action and we start looking at the other sectors and industry starting to climb back. All right, catching up. What else is going on out there? Keith, yes, Hulk, smash that like button. I'm about that life. That's what I like to see out there. All right, what else is being mentioned out there? XLV up 1.7 and XLE. I appreciate the mentions, King. All right, it's good to see Lucas out there and Jenny, of course. Always good to see you. Google reports Tuesday. Stay tuned. Jenny knows. Do you? That's the question. All right, let's keep going. We'll get out of the lodging area. Of course, I still have Hilton. We'll see what happens on stocks like Hyatt and WH. These are stocks that I kind of like here. I'm going to continue to watch to see if they can get the push. Consumer cyclical, you got other areas that are getting hit. Department stores pulling back a little bit. Resorts and casinos. This is an area that has been extremely strong, and I'm sorry about that, guys. Sorry, I hit that a little bit too hard there. Resorts and casinos pulling back here. You can see LVS pulling back a little bit. MGM recently really took off there. Now starting to slow up a little bit. So this is opportunities. But one thing is for certain, be careful on names like Wynn that have made a huge run as of late, are trying to make a move above 110, but can't do it right now. It could be right back down to 100. Of course, these are names that I have liked in the past. but they're starting to turn around, and it could be time for some pullback. We'll see what happens. Look at Caesars. That's been a nice little move now. And this one just started moving. So if you're looking for one to maybe keep moving, maybe we look for pullbacks in Caesar and look to see MGM take the lead and continue higher. If, MGM can make a move to 52, yeah, Caesars will be looking good also. All right, let's keep going. It's good to see you guys it's good to see you guys out there. COF by Pump and Pow wants to take a look at that. We'll take a look. I did see CVS started an uptrend. Eldon, we can take a look at that also. That's going to be in your healthcare area. We'll get to it. Let's go to our top leading sectors. Let's go to the top movers, right? So utilities starting to get a lift. We talked about this with XLU. That's one way to start playing this. And I think that this could continue to rise, maybe getting up there to 70, 72. So this is not a bad play. You just got to be quick with the XLU. I feel like you got to be in, looking for a nice little couple of bucks, be patient, and then take that money and run, because it's not going to be the biggest win, but it could be a steady winner here. So pull back to 67s. I don't mind that for the XLU. You can also take a look at Nextera Energy. That got the lift today, and that's also looking strong. This is the leader. Look at all the bottoming action on this chart. I really like it off the weekly, and now starting to turn things around. This could come back to 75 and maybe up there towards 78. Seems to make sense right now. And then we'll see if we can get to 78. We'll see if it holds at 75 pullback and starts going to 85. This is not a bad one to keep watch. Duke is another way to look at this. You can look at Excel Energy. There's a lot of names here that you can watch. They don't make the biggest move, but when they start lifting, they don't look too bad. Healthcare names getting the move right back to the upside. So not too bad of a move here today. Big drug manufacturers kind of leading the move today. Johnson & Johnson right back to the upside. Had some earnings, shook that move, and right there, lift off to 170. Did I expect this move? No, by any means on Johnson & Johnson. So really good move here on Johnson. And for their earnings, they did beat. Their guidance was pretty good, but did I expect to see this lift off today? No, by any means. A nice little push there, Johnson & Johnson. AbbVie also reported today getting the lift. Bristol Myers. So you guys can see here, definitely a little bit of a takeoff. So a move maybe going back to value, right? Some of these are growth, at reasonable value. So what is that term that we call it? We call it GARP. So look up what GARP means, of course, and how that could be affecting these stocks right here. So this doesn't actually look bad, even though this is a play that I really wasn't thinking about moving forward. But if we're going to see a continued pullback in tech, we could see these stocks start to climb right back. So Merck is one that maybe I could keep an eye out for, see if it wants to come back towards 115. Bristol Myers has a tendency to start to trend when it gets going, but nothing that I'm grabbing right now. Something more that I'll just keep an eye out for to see if the trend continues. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. There you go. Smash that like. I see you out there. Let's go. Walmart up today, bro. We'll take a look at that one. Stick around. That's going to be in the next sector here coming up. Biotech's still down a little bit today. Medical devices not doing too bad there. Keep your eyes on some Abbott Labs, ABT, definitely getting a nice little push higher today. If there's one to keep an eye out for, this is one that I'd keep an eye out in medical devices. As this starts to push higher, we'll see if we can get a move there towards 113. I'll send an alert there for tomorrow to see if we can just continue to run here. MDT also getting a little bit of a lift. These are stocks to keep a watch. And then Dexcom pulling back after the recent lift. This actually looks pretty good. We'll see if it's able to hold the 130 pullback and get back up there towards 140. I like Dexcom. We'll see if it can hold the trend line pullback. All right, let's get out of the healthcare. Let's go to consumer defensives. I want to keep things moving today. It's 3:47. We trying to action pack this show, jamming it into 30 minutes. Let's keep it going, guys. All right, defensive starting to lift. So keep your eyes on names like this as we start looking at maybe some value plays starting to take a lift. Today, discount stores pushing higher. Walmart with a nice little lift there. I've talked about that. I wanted to see Walmart stay strong and Costco stay strong. Costco stayed strong. Walmart took a little bit of some sideways action. But do you guys remember? I was looking at BJ recently, and I was able to take a gain on this one. So I might just go right back in it. This doesn't look bad there. Nice little value. Still kind of lagging back here. Hasn't really started to come back. I could see it trying to make a move back into this gap zone. I don't mind it off of maybe 63s right now. So you know what? The way that this play is looking, we could take a shot on this. I'm going to take a smaller shot on this because I'm going to look for a bigger move this time. Probably about half the size of what I went in it last time, but grabbed a little bit there at 64.19. All right, we'll see what else is going on there, but also going to keep my eye on Ollie and maybe Dollar General and Dollar Tree start to get a little lift. We'll see if these can start coming back. Of course, looking into some value. And DG has been rocking it. I mean, I could see these coming back, right? These are opportunities now. You just got to understand where your risk is. And if you could keep it tight, look for maybe a little bit of a gap fill. We've seen plenty of gap fills in this style of market. We'll see if these can start coming back. All right, beverages and soft drinks looking good here. Coke, Pepsi, those are the names to watch, right? Coke starts to take off. Pepsi starts to take off. I look at these side by side. Now Pepsi really making a strong move. So I'd be looking for pullbacks to where I was trying to get in last time, around the 187.36. So pullbacks to that level doesn't seem too bad. Also pullbacks into below 188.21s. So below 188, wouldn't mind that. If it starts to pull back, these are value names that you can be looking at. Monster is one that I've been talking about for a little while now. Really hasn't gotten going, but I like the chart here. So a nice little setup now. Now I could risk off the 57, look for a move to 50 to 60 for the breakout above. I kind of like it here on Monster. We'll look to see if this keeps going higher. CELH is another one. We'll see if this is able to catch a little bit of a bid and come right back up towards the 150. Another one to kind of keep an eye out here is KDP. KDP finally giving a lift here. I've been waiting for this one to actually make a move, but now it's starting to get that push. Now we can start to look to get outside of this bearish area and look for pullbacks back below 32.25 or something like that for pullbacks here. I kind of like KDP. I'll keep a watch on these. All right, you jump in on it. Hey, whatever works, man. BJ can reward you, man. All right, we'll see what happens on that one. Let's keep going to the next area. Farm products doing well. Now starting to turn around. Archer Daniel Midland starting to get a little bit of some strength. So keep your eyes on grocery stores also. Kroger going a little bit higher. Pharmaceutical retailers. Will these turn around? These have been as beat down as can be. So we'll see if Walgreens can actually make a little bit of a comeback. It's not something I really like, but hey. Hershey's did get a short report put out today by, I think, the Bear Cave, but be careful out there, team. It still looks pretty strong. Mondelez also looks strong. So if you're looking for value plays, these could go higher. And what are you getting closer to? You're getting closer to that October Halloween candy run. I don't know. I'll keep an eye out on these. These are interesting stocks. USFD food distribution. You guys can keep an eye out on this. Cisco Corp is probably one to keep an eye out for this move. It's looking like it's wanting to go higher. And of course, that's food distribution. There's other areas you guys can watch here. Packaged foods. We'll see how these start to make a move. Kraft Heinz getting off the bottom. General Mills. These have been really kind of destroyed in this market. But if we're really going to get the value move back, these could take a little bit of a lift. Not really names that I'm looking at right now, but I'm going to keep watch to see if I jump into any of these. All right, let's keep going. I think that Hershey's report was sponsored by Weight Watchers. It might have been, Raz. It might have been. I'll tell you what. Give me a little bit of a cookies and cream Hershey's bar. I'll knock it down. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to another area, of course, financial services continuing higher. This is an area that we can definitely watch to see some names start to push. So Morgan Stanley, kind of investment firms, things like that. Goldman Sachs really pushing higher. So I wouldn't maybe be looking at the regionals just yet, but I would be looking for these to kind of push higher. And what is happening here is that if the banks continue higher, you might actually see Riot pull back a little bit here. We'll see what happens if this does pull back here towards like 16, stocks like that. IBKR bouncing back today. We'll see if some of these investment asset management companies maybe get a lift. BlackRock looks like it's starting to get the push, right? BX, Blackstone getting the push. These actually don't look too bad and are really starting to get a little bit of some lift. All right, let's keep going. I worked at US Food for 10 years, and man, that would have been an awesome stock to buy in the pandemic. I still remember when US Foods was $10. Look at USFD today. It's at 44. You would have got 4 times your money. Man, would have been a nice one. All right, let's keep going. We'll get to another area here. We talked about financials. Energy starting to get the lift. Let's talk about my swing trades here. I have Valero. Valero now up a significant amount. I actually had to take some profits today because it was just so good. Let's talk about this trade. Well, I got in this one at 116.95, and we're up there towards 120.70 almost. And today getting up there towards the 121, up about 3% on this position, and had to take some profits on it already because it doesn't look too bad at all. I'm looking for oil to continue to climb. I played XOM today. I'm looking for Oxy to start to push. Looking for these oil names to really start getting the grind right back to the upside. We'll see if they're able to hold their gains. PXD, another one that I'll keep an eye out for. Look at the daily chart. It's starting to set up for a nice little move to 215 and 220. We'll see if it can really run. All right. Wow. Mitch is long on oil. Very different. And that's important, Raz. I like that you're noting that because the truth is I flipped, right? I went from bearish oil to bullish oil. And I think it's very important to be able to bounce back and forth. Be nimble. Be okay with flipping. Sometimes people will judge you for it, but really just judge your equity, right? Judge the wins. The wins and losses will tell you if you did it right. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on in the market. Let's keep pushing. KRE is pushing strong. So I think that could keep going. If you're looking for regionals, KRE is the way to go. I even drew this circle. If we got to that 50, you could kiss that regional bank worry goodbye. It was a nice head and shoulders pattern that we pulled back into today. Nice little hold of that 46. So I wouldn't want to see 46 break now. If I was a bull on these kind of regionals, if that can hold on the KRE, you're looking good for a little bit of an upside back to the top, right? RF will be reporting on the morning tomorrow, and look how this is already looking strong. We'll see if it gets the lift. A good report could have it pushing right back. PNC was one that I talked about. If I wanted to take a shot on one of the regionals, it would have probably been PNC. So this has already started to go up. I don't mind maybe taking a shot here, but I would definitely need to add closer towards 131 to risk off the 129s. So it's already up there to 134 today. I'll look for pullbacks. Like I don't mind if I can get this at like 132. I missed it today, but it's looking good. JPM at 52-week high. Not a bad one to keep in mind. We'll see what happens on that. And of course, let's go to the industrial sector. That did get a little pullback today. So what did I have to do? I had to go ringing the bell, man. Why not? Ringing that cash bell, more like it. Because the truth is, I mean, we're here for the money, right? I don't know about you guys, but that's I know why I'm here for. I'm here to get that money. So not a bad one here. It's been a good day for me overall. We'll continue to see if we can keep pushing towards the next one. But I would definitely say this one was a flawless victory on Deere. Had to take the money and run. I got this at 401, guys. We were looking at this for just a nice little move towards 440. Nothing wrong with 40-point outlook. Nice little, a little bit close to 10%. It was about like 9.8 when I took it off. But can't be mad about Deere. What a move to the upside. Perfect timed, I feel. And it took some profits along the way. Can't be mad about that. Really nice move here. All right, let's get out of Deere. Be careful because I do think that these could start to pull back in the next couple of days. And of course, if it keeps riding higher, that's all good. But I do think that we could pull back, maybe get back here towards kind of the 425s on Deere, and then take the next lift. Had to take that money and run. Ross Stores today getting me a little bit into the green, but really not taking off. So I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about Ross Stores to see if it can keep pushing. Nice little hot streak for there, Mitch. Yeah, I mean, Deere has been a really nice trade. One of the best trades of the year. Oil names have been doing me well on the downside moves. And sometimes you just got to hold on to these bad boys and just try to grind them higher. The key is always understand where your out is. And if I start making a big gain, I'll start laddering the stop closer and moving it up because I don't want to miss out on those games. But there's nothing wrong with staying with the trend. All right, it's about 3:59. We're about to hit the 4 p.m. spot. Let's go ahead. Let's look at the SPY, see where we're closing up the market here. It's about 452.30s. We'll look to see if we come back there to 453.50s tomorrow. Of course, I'm looking to see if the SPY can keep coming down there towards the 450s. That seems to make sense. So we could see a little bit of decline come into the market. But of course, we're never going to go one way. But be careful on stocks that are starting to pull back. A lot of the big names pulling back today, like Tesla. And I talked about this. This could be right back down the 250s, and 240s makes sense for me. A pullback towards this thicker line right here, which would bring it back there towards the 250s and 240s. And when you think about it overall, look at that turnaround around 300 on Tesla. Went to 299.29 and right back down to 263. Almost a 40-point drop from yesterday's high to today's low. So be careful out there, team. We could see this continue to come down. All right, it's about to be 4 p.m. Price target for coin. Didn't talk about coin, but I'll take a look at that. This looks like it's starting to pull back. I could see coin start to pull back into that 100 spot, then maybe come back to test 90s. Then we'll look back to see if we get back above the 100. Coin target to the upside from here. Next spot is really 150, but I don't know if you're going to be able to even get through that 130. Coin is definitely going to get a little bit of a lift, but is this the stock that I want? To tell you the truth, I kind of don't want Coinbase. I don't trust it in the long run, and it could always come crashing down. We'll see what happens there. But like always, if you like coin, hey, to each his own. All right, it's 4 o'clock, guys. That's going to do it for us today. Like always, smash the like. If you guys enjoy, start swing trade. I still got 6 positions on. I got Valero. I have Ross Stores. I have Valet. I have Hilton. I have BJ's. I have LAC. So take your eyes on those. We'll see if these can continue to make moves. And doesn't look too bad overall in the swing trade today. Took some profits in Deere. Took some profits in Valero, and also took a little bit of a hit there. Orders are still out to get out on LAC. We'll see what happens on that one. LAZR was my hit on the day. Took a small little hit on LAZR as it came back there towards 704s. And I'm not going to be in this thing for a turnaround to 650s. So when it comes back through 750, I can maybe take a look at it. But that's going to do it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show right here. Start swing trade. I'll see you guys bright and early on pre-market prep. And it's been a great week here on Start Swing Trade. So hit the like button. And like always, keep working at your swing trading game. Sometimes day trading is just not going to be it for you. Maybe swing trading is more up your alley. Check it out, team. I'll see you next time right here on Start Swing Trade. Smash the like on the way out.